All right, imagine waking up every single morning knowing that somewhere, somehow, someone is watching you. Not your nosy neighbor, not your weird uncle at Thanksgiving. An entire government. All the time. Forever. That's the world George Orwell cooked up in 1949 with a little book called 1984. It's less of a novel and more of a warning label. Orwell wrote this thing while he was literally dying of tuberculosis, sick in bed, barely able to hold a pen, and he still managed to write. So let's dive into the world of Oceania, where your thoughts are a crime, and Big Brother never ever blinks. Meet Winston Smith. He's 39 years old, physically weak, mentally exhausted, and works at a place called the Ministry of Truth, which is entirely dedicated to lying. Winston's job is literally to rewrite historical newspaper articles so that the government, run by a shadowy figure called Big Brother, always looks right. And all around the city, giant posters stare down at him. Huge face, dark eyes, thick mustache, and the words, "Big Brother is watching you." Now here's where Winston starts doing the most dangerous thing. He buys a secret diary and he begins writing down his real thoughts. The system calls this thought crime. You don't even have to do anything. You just have to think the wrong thing, and the thought police come. Because Winston still believes in one radical idea, that reality is real, that 2 + 2 = 4, no matter what the government says. Now enter Julia. She works with Winston and she seems like a perfect party loyalist, energetic, enthusiastic, total rule follower on the surface. And then one day she slips Winston a piece of paper. It says, "I love you." Winston practically has a heart attack, but Winston and Julia start meeting in secret, in the countryside, in hidden rooms, and they build something real. They eat real food, black market chocolate, coffee, and it tastes like freedom. Maybe you fight a system with human connection. Then comes O'Brien. Winston has had this gut feeling for years that O'Brien is secretly on his side, that he sees through the lies. O'Brien reveals himself as a member of the Brotherhood, a secret underground resistance movement led by Emmanuel Goldstein. Winston is electric with hope. O'Brien gives Winston a forbidden book, the Manifesto of the Resistance. Winston reads it with trembling hands. And then the floor falls out. Winston and Julia are in their secret room when suddenly the wall bursts open. Thought police everywhere. And standing there, calm as a professor, is O'Brien. He was never a rebel. It was all a trap. Every moment was bait. He is arrested, taken to the Ministry of Love, which is nothing like it sounds. No windows, just endless interrogation and pain. O'Brien becomes Winston's torturer. He tells Winston the party doesn't want his body. It wants his mind. His complete, voluntary, joyful surrender. He holds up 4 fingers and asks Winston how many he sees. Winston says 4. O'Brien turns up the pain and asks again. Eventually, Winston says he sees 5. Not because he's forced to lie, but because his shattered mind actually starts to believe it. But there's still one thing holding him together. Julia. So O'Brien takes him to room 101. It contains whatever you personally fear most. For Winston, that's rats. He is strapped to a chair. A cage of enormous, ravenous rats is strapped to his face. And in that moment of absolute terror, Winston screams, "Do it to Julia, not me." And just like that, it's over. His humanity. Winston is eventually released. He runs into Julia once. They both betrayed each other. It doesn't matter anymore. Winston sits in a cafe drinking bad gin and he stares at a telescreen. And Winston Smith, the man who once rebelled, smiles. He loves Big Brother. The party didn't just break him, they rebuilt him. And that is the most chilling ending in history. The most dangerous weapon any authoritarian system has is the ability to make you doubt your own reality, to make you mistrust your memories. And the only defense? The stubborn, quiet, unshakable insistence that truth is truth. That 2 + 2 will always equal 4. Hold on to that, no matter what. See you between the pages.